I'm representing the Hydex programme, which is one of the sponsors of the Touch Rugby World Cup. Hydex is a collaboration of a number of universities based in the Midlands, including the University of Nottingham. One of Hydex's main aims is to support industry to innovate, developing new products and services in the hydrogen economy. We decided to sponsor the Touch Rugby World Cup, particularly in relation to energy use, so that Geopura, a locally based business, can provide hydrogen to be utilised at the event, making the event more sustainable and improving air quality for visitors and competitors alike. We hope this support will encourage others to look for more sustainable ways to run similar events in the future. Finally, just to say, we hope everyone that's involved in the event has a great time.
It's our turn now. 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 How much am I so can I give away till there's nothing left to take?
So we're here at Hillhead Sports Club, the third year of our annual Pride in Touch tournament. We have 16 teams, over 200 players. We've got about a dozen or so referees. We've had also a whole heap of volunteers. It's been brilliant to come to Glasgow after previous versions in Manchester and London, and it's ended up being our biggest tournament to date.
Get a lot of curious players that want to try out touch rugby for the first time, so they might be a bit nervous, but I think they come down, they hear the tunes that are playing, they see all the rainbows, all the smiling faces, and I think they realise that actually they can just have a good time. Our ambition is to make touch rugby one of the most inclusive sports there is. We want it to be super accessible to anyone. We don't want there to be many barriers or any barriers to picking up the game for the LGBT community.
What's been amazing over just the 3 or so years that we've been running Pride in Touch has been the interest and the growth and the opportunity we've had to platform good practice from people across the world that are wanting to do more LGBTQ+ inclusive initiatives. Now more than ever, we certainly feel it's really important to make sure that we amplify the voices of inclusion, show people that team sport can be really good for their mental well-being and their physical well-being, and hopefully we've got plenty of those people who have felt like that through enjoying our tournament today.
So what does it mean to you? The time?
The sweat, the passion,
The thrill?
The determination,
The support.
the camaraderie.
but there's so much more than that.
We're playing for something bigger.
You ready?
Question is, how are you going to leave your legacy?
I love Nottingham, the home of Robin Hood. From the bright lights of Goose Fair to the peaceful nature of the Sherwood Forest woods. There's a feeling of togetherness, unity, pure, honest, love. And that feels great like a bright summer's day at the horses down by the lake at Colic. All I love Nottingham. The River Trent, the embankment, the Nottingham Carnival, different cultures dancing. The diversity, just walking down Columbus Street on a Saturday. The two lions in the square stand tall with pride. And when the markets in town come alive, it gives me life. Listen, as the council house clock chimes, and depending on how many times, lets you know the time. I've been to concerts at the Motorpoint Arena, and I've been to concerts at the Nottingham Caves. I've been here all my life and I'm still amazed by this place. I love Nottingham. Sometimes I stare at Hoxley's graffiti colourful walls, and sometimes I gaze at the deers running round Woollerton Hall. Supreme thrills, from chilling up at Green's Mill or up at that castle on the hill. Nottingham, I love you, and I always will. Visit Nottingham today.
Semi-final time in the men's 35 competition. It's a round robin that's concluded today, and how it's left it seeded is that Australia topped this round robin pool undefeated. They beat New Zealand to guarantee New Zealand's place in second. They play South Africa in the other men's 35 semi-final. Live here on pitch 2, it's England defeated by Australia in the pool, but they've got a second chance, Mel Day alongside me, to right those earlier wrongs.
Absolutely, it was a convincing win by Australia in the pool game as England give away possession straight off the tap-off. In the pools, it was 16-3 to this gun Australian side as they stream on the subs straight away.
They've only conceded 9 tries across the pool stage. 4 of those were to New Zealand, 3 to this England side, but they put 16 past them, as you've said. So they weren't too worried there as the ball is lifted across to that right-hand side. Brad Powell caught, so England have survived the first set of 6, Mel.
Yeah, they'll consider every shutout of Australia a win here, especially after that 16-3 score earlier on, but they're driving very, very well up the field now, right through the middle.
Lovely carry by Stewart. It's just been spilt there, unfortunately. They're going to have to use all 6 if they want to challenge Australia.
And a couple of players to watch from the Australian team. Keep an eye on David Marr, the number 5. He's been on fire, and also the 15, Taki Luke. He's one of their top try scorers for this tournament.
Marr, the captain as well of this Australia men's 35 side.
Oh.
Whipped over the top, lovely ball. But good defence by England. It was Carnui-Cox who threw that wide pass. But again, good defence from England in the opening of this game.
Absolutely, they're a little bit flat now, and they've thrown an under pressure pass has gone straight to ground. They'll be disappointed with that because they're playing quite well here, and their last subset was very strong, but they cannot give away this possession to Australia. That's what we've seen all through the pool games. You can't give them an inch, otherwise they will punish you like that.
Well, Cox finds the pass, and down goes Jai Ayub. Australia on the board early here, and they're looking to set up a final with either South Africa or New Zealand. Tap off at the halfway for England. Chance for them to create and get back into the tie. They lead. They are led by Australia at the moment by just a single score. 2.5 minutes gone here, and this is a brighter looking attack. Stewart, ball over the top, it's ambitious, and it's beyond Liam Lawton.
And we've got our first gold medal match happening on field 1 as we're calling this semi on field 2. If you've joined us, welcome.
And it's the men's 35s in actions here. It's a very physical Australian team. They've got great pace about them, and they're being driven on for the now. Great scoop, lovely footwork as well. Kane Rangi looking to open up England. Ball on the inside to keep the attack alive, and then the touch is worn by Patrick Hogan. Rangi, well, he's held up by the referee. I think it's a penalty to Australia.
He's got a lovely right foot step, doesn't he, the number 8, Rangi, and it's 6 more touches to the Aussies.
Rangi creates. He'll float it back on the inside instead. Australia looking to scoop through. Touch missed out there. Carnui-Cox goes over for Australia. Made it look a little bit easy there, Mel.
Yeah, they made it look easy, but I think the England defence could have just worked a little bit harder there. That covering defence from Jonathan Clark, you need a much higher level of desperation to come across to try and make that diving touch. And Australia doing it easy now, 2-0 and 4 minutes into the game.
Well, it's been a long week for the Masters division. This is the youngest of the divisions listed as more senior over at Riverside. That's a nice pass. Pick out William Simpson. And a strike at the line perhaps for England as they look to get back into the game. They trail by 2 inside 4 minutes here.
Colin Scott, the number 9, trying to create something here. Belongs to the London Eagles club, one of the biggest touch clubs in the UK, as they send it over the top. But that Aussie defence,
well,
locking it in.
They read the long ball. England didn't do enough to contract the Australian back line there, so they will transition as they head towards the box. And they're on their 3rd touch, and they're racing towards halfway.
Oh, they look good driving the ball in from their sub-box, don't they, Australia? Brilliant, brilliant driving by Jai Ayub.
Another great pickup from Ayub, looking for a second score. Flicks it back inside. I think it's been knocked on there by England, so Australia with 6 at the line again. Good read, though, an important one by Scott.
Colin Scott just getting the hand out there. And Australia are going to delight in this. Despite the gold medal match on field 1, a big crowd for this semi-final. Long ball over the top and easy as you like.
There he is, Taki Luke with a great finish in the corner, and it needed finishing. This Hail Mary pass.
It's building his lead as the top try scorer in this men's 35s team. Very, very nice finishing from him.
That was his 17th score of the men's 35s division. England looking to respond. They're 3 down inside 5 minutes here. Nice line up through the centre by Liam Lawton. Here is Lawton. Well, he's caught. Coburn at the half. Lawton. Missed pass, 2-on-1 perhaps. Australia cover well. Touch made by Jay Ayoub. And Australia have it back, Mel. They've shut them out again.
Lovely floating ball across the top to get it to the Aussie sub box. This is much better defence from Australia. 3 touches before Australia crossed the halfway line, and now they're sweeping on. These, I was just about to say, these roll balls are happening at speed, but you need to also maintain control, and unfortunately Australia just losing control of that one and gifting England possession.
Josh Phillips just losing control. The commentator's curse strikes even in semi-finals. Well, I must say, today and yesterday, the roll ball nightmare that you're experiencing, Mel, has hopefully been quelled a little bit by some better performances.
Yeah, the quality of touch today here on Field 2 has been exceptional. As we move into some medals footy.
Another failed England attack, however. They are making good yards, but unable to cross that white line freely for now.
Oh, this is very, very good defence by Australia. But there is going to be a hard touch penalty, accidental contact, but still hard contact. I mean, it looked like he was coming in from the side there. But we keep on talking about the gap between Australia and New Zealand and then everyone else. And these teams like this men's 35s who, interesting, I thought he made it through there without a touch, but no. But these teams will only meet each other once every 4 years, and what Australia proved is that you need to be absolutely on your game and not make any mistakes, as we see another score through the middle. Again, I just don't think this defence is scrambling enough. You have got to cover your inside defender, and it was a long time before we saw vision of that England lick coming in to help save that try by Dave Marr. We called him at the start of the game, and he's already having a cracking match.
Carnui Cox, the try scorer turned provider for his captain. This is a better attack from England, though. They look more expressive here. Carl Coburn looking to go over. Denied at the 7. Hennigan opening up the field, pick up by Kalanko, and then wide they go. Australia tap it down. So it will be Australian ball, however. Good defence in the end, a good read by Scott Bradley. Australia hit the box 10 minutes into this first half, and well, they've looked the far better of the two teams, Mel.
Oh, this looks very classy stuff from the Aussies as they send it wide. Oh.
Well, I'm not sure it's been given. It would have been some finish from the Emus here.
Brilliance on both teams here. An absolute cracking ball out wide, diving touch on the feet that have gone up high.
I mean, what
Lovely
a take,
stuff
though,
from
as
both
well
teams.
from Taki Luke. Here come England with a bit of broken field finally, George Headley-Miller. Dean Hancock hands it off to Headley-Miller. Hancock again. Headley-Miller gets it as the link on the wrap. Looking for the switch, caught by Australia, turnover. Richard Jones, Jonathan Bailey there, making the final touch. Oh, well, another penalty. Just too many at the moment in Australia's favour. They're keeping England out of the game with this error count.
And look how deep these Australian attackers are coming on the left-hand side. The depth that they maintain going into an attack is just incredible. Running onto that ball, little switch play.
Well, they're still keeping it alive, Australia.
too good, Australia.
Jai Ayub with another score. Lovely little show and go to see off Tim Hughes. Now 5-0 after 11 minutes. It's looking a little bit ominous for England.
It is a bit like the weather. Very ominous here on field 2. And one aspect of the play I've got to mention is the Australian team. You can hear them shouting, you can hear them communicating. Even now in their defensive line, we can hear every single call being made. And I feel like down the other end, England sound very, very quiet. You don't see them geeing each other up. And I think that's where these lapses in defence are coming from. You've got to speak with your fellow defenders.
Indeed you do. Australia, though, on the offensive again. They lead by 5. It's another great transition from them as they move beyond the England 10-metre. Oh, lovely turn of pace from Cox. He is in control for Australia. He finds the pass. Over goes Jesse Green. What a game that Carnui Cox is having, Mel.
Yeah, just a little jinx step straight behind. Should be mirrors there, but I think the England defenders were just caught on the back foot, had their backs to the Aussies, and they've taken advantage of that through Jesse Green.
Oh, some delightful footwork. Here come England, though. Yet to get on the board here. They trail by 6. Looking to do a bit better than in their previous meet-up where England were beaten 16-3 in the pool stage of this men's 35 competition.
And another error coming off the tap-off. England have got to have a chat with themselves at half-time. As I said, you get these opportunities to play Australia a couple of times every 4 years, and you don't want to make those kind of mistakes.
England beaten by New Zealand as well as by Australia in the pool stage. They beat the likes of Wales and Fiji on their way through, and the United States. And they're looking to create something here, but that's a flashed pass off field. Kalanko, unfortunately there, can't find his teammate.
That's a communication issue as well. Normally when you're passing that ball, you want to hear that receiver shouting for the ball really loudly. Whenever I see those loose passes, it's usually a result of a breakdown in communication. And I'd really love to just hear the volume increase from this England side.
England's other game was a 9-all draw with South Africa, who play against New Zealand in the other semi-final. Nice show and go. Australia right at the line. Dane Ryan takes it in.
Yeah, that was better defence from England and really nice from Dean Hancock. Lovely body positioning, post-touch as they scramble out and
another
shut down.
diving touch there, Mel. It's what you called for. A little bit more commitment in defence.
Yeah, absolutely. Much, much better from the England team.
If they fix up their defence, they've got another problem. They need to find a way to break down this Australian.
A couple of Aussies getting called offside, and Australia trying to take advantage of that. Maybe trying to take advantage of one too many times, and they've gone back to the mark. But this Australian team just shooting up and shutting down everything. Colin Scott driving up the middle. This is 5th touch. They send it wide.
Well, England still looking for their first score. Now, how is this Australian defence keeping out England with such effectiveness?
Through very, very good shooting. I think fitness to consistently shoot up off the line is just incredible. It's communication as well. Nominating who's going to shoot up, who's staying back, who's going to take the next one. It just looks seamless at the moment. Pick up from half. And
put down by the captain, David Meyer.
Yeah, there was a lot of zing on that ball going left.
Would have been some take to keep the attack alive.
But look at these shooters, and these shooters are sometimes starting from a metre behind the referee and getting a running start.
Oh, good deception from the English winger. Nice feet from Jones. And that's a lovely ball out wide, looking to get England in behind. Desperate to get on the front foot as they make their changes. Looking for the inside pass. But again, it's been shut down on halfway by Australia. What a ball that is. An excellent take as well by Kolenko. But unfortunately, that's the end of the most recent England attack, and I think they're losing another few yards for a penalty as well.
Yeah, forward pass there. We can feel the wind start to pick up. We got overcast conditions this afternoon. It's been dry all day. There might be some rain in the next hour or so.
We hope not, with 2 more games to come after this one, live here on pitch 2 at the Touch Rugby World Cup. This game, Australia still need 6 unanswered scores to 0. Well, I was about to mention how the flow of scoring had slowed down in the last few moments. Before I can, Australia do in fact score another through another vicious long ball by Cox. Touchdown. Brad Powell is the beneficiary.
Easy as you like. I'd love to see England just hold it for a set of 6 on this tap-off. They've trained for this for a long time. As they send it wide. Little step back. Oh, excellent touch made. Nice idea from the England team, though, sending it wide, trying a few different things. Little short runner.
Out the back door, picked off, away goes Australia. Will he have the legs to take it downtown? He will. Australia make it home. Who else for the Emus but Carnui Cox again involved? What a game he's having, Mel.
He's got some legs on him as well, doesn't he?
Great wheels.
And he's quite fast.
Absolutely. What a game for Carnui Cox. He gets another try to Australia. It was an ambitious offload, Mel, but when you're down against a side like this, you've got to try it.
I quite like seeing England try a few different things in that set of 6. And the important thing was they did hold it and set up a few attacking opportunities. Well, I'd like to just see a bit more intensity in their attack. Once again, these passing errors, I think that's the 3rd time, has basically been a pass to no one. They need to get their voices up and start communicating with each other. And just that old look before you pass.
Absolutely. This isn't England's only shot at a final today. It's the semi-final in the men's 30s up next, live here on pitch 2, where England will take on New Zealand. Let's see if the other side of the Trans-Tasmanian divide is any easier to crack than this Australian team, who, as we approach half-time, look on top. Well, I think that might be a penalty for Australia.
That's unlucky. I saw Stuart Bustle over on that far side losing his hat in that exchange. He's a former 100-metre hurdler, originally from Australia, almost made the 2000 Olympic Games in Sydney. A very, very rapid runner when you get him out into some space.
Well, let's see if he will be afforded any by this Australian team. Doesn't look likely for now. Good touch made by Bustle in the meantime. Australia march back to the 7. Here's the captain, Meyer. Lifted into the path of Rangi, who's got fast feet. Kept out by Colin Scott. Rangi so involved. The skipper goes in again for Australia, David Marr.
And no touch acknowledged by the England defender.
It's a good effort from William Simpson. But as we approach the break, this game is beyond England already, Mal.
And there
Final
goes the
carry
sign.
of the first half from Carl Coburn. 9-0 at half-time in this men's 35 semi-final. New Zealand take on South Africa in the other semi-final. It's likely to be a Kiwi-Aussie final, not for the first time in this Touch Rugby World Cup. England have another chance after this game to make it to a gold medal match when they take on New Zealand in the men's 30s. But for the men's 35s, Mel, it's looking a bit dire.
Yeah, convincing Australian performance in that half. England, a lot of unforced errors out there, a lot of balls going down, And the one thing I'd say to this England team is the more time that you're in possession of the ball, the less time Australia have to score, and they just need to concentrate on keeping this ball for their set of sixes.
It's the end of a long week of touch rugby for these men's 35s players, but Australia still have one more game left in them. If they can hold on here against England, they'll be in the gold medal match. 20 minutes to come in the semi-final. England with a lot of work to do. Second half, live in just a moment's time here at the Touch Rugby World Cup 2024 at Highfields in Nottingham. Second half to come in this men's 35 semi-final. Mel, a pretty flawless performance by Australia in the first half, as they're already over for their 10th try.
Oh, I think this might actually be coming back here. A forward pass, letting England off the hook.
So just the 9 for Australia then. Whatever will they do, Mel?
Just the 9 for Australia, and the key thing will be whether England can start to get some control of this game, string their sets together. That was much better gotten down to the Australian 7 metres.
It's a really good transition, though, the first couple of drives with great pace, good defence in the meantime from Dean Hancock of England.
Oh,
and
Dave
here come
Mark
Australia.
steaming onto the field. It's from the East Roosters Touch Club in Australia.
Well, there's the
Coaches
missed
as well
pass.
as plays. Has coached a lot of high-level team back home.
Oh, nice footwork again. He's pretty dangerous as well, is Kane Rangi.
2 shutouts from England to start the half.
What you love to see, maybe this is their route back into the game. Oh, the English mix-up there. Oh, what a take that actually is, coming onto the field.
Oh, that was very, very lucky from England. They've thrown 2 or 3 of those balls already that have gone to ground. As
A
they
chance
float one over
maybe
the
for the
top.
first try. Beyond Anthony Kalanko.
Very lucky there from England. They really do need to make sure that they're directing these passes much better.
Well, I was chatting to the president of Luxembourg's rugby union, and he was saying that in their men's 30 team, that they're just a bunch of dads, really, who have come together to play touch and try and inspire the next generation Luxembourg. This Australia team just has a completely different vibe, even in the 35s division, one up from the men's 30s. They just have such a serious and composed energy about them in the box in front of us here, Mel.
Yeah, these guys are athletes.
I mean, they've got a 4-man coaching team as well, even in the 35s division, or 5 even. They've got great support across the team.
Yeah, as we have an Aussie player coming off with a bit of a niggle, a slight injury, but Australia floating it across the middle of the field. Dump on the Lincoln mid and play on being the call from the referee. We could hear it from here. They've caught the England defence offside.
Good heads-up touch from Chris Jordan, who just bounces off the offside James Stewart. Goes in for Australia's first try of the second half.
The gold medal match for this game will be tomorrow, alongside many, many others on field 1.
Yes, a pretty stacked schedule tomorrow for on field 1. It'll be a long day with all the various national anthems. I was just chatting before the game with you, Mel, about how many times we're going to hear the New Zealand and Australian national anthem. I mean, thankfully, they're excellently entertaining ones. There's an interception, and Australia are off to the races. Well, great work from England on the charge. Australia could go all the way.
Great chase happening, diving
what a run.
touch.
Well, I think Brad Powell has made it home.
Lovely, lovely work. Great attempt to dive by the England defender.
Headley, Miller and Simpson, no slouches in hot pursuit, but a great finish from way out from Brad Powell, a second intercept try for Australia.
They are plucking these balls from nowhere. Powell deserves a bit of a rest in the sub-box after that length of the field effort.
I've just heard Carnui Cox, he said, I know that means heaps to you, mate, but get your breath in, let's go again, eh? There's no time at all for Australia, even now when they're 11 up. Cox is driving the standards. Such high standards, driven by the likes of Cox, who's had a really great game as well. He says when England look across into our box, they've got to see that nothing hurts us, even running the length of the field.
Yeah, and a loss of control in the ruck there by the Australian team. I think he was appealing for an England hand, but for me that was just a lack of control. As he's dumped it, I think there was an England foot he was trying to dump it on, but good call by the referee there. as England, centering the ball, trying to set up a strike dump here against this very firm Aussie defence.
Could be a first try for England, but that Hail Mary pass, which you often need to try and break down Australia, just goes awry. Still in deep discussion in the Australian box. It's so interesting to watch their reaction. They seem completely unfazed by their 11-0 advantage.
Yeah, although they're up 11-0, they're treating it as though they're 5 tries behind. They're talking about body language in the box, not wanting to give the other team even a sniff that there's any fatigue or anything like that.
Josh McCormack was just discussing how they're going to break England open tactically, and Josh Phillips was almost away with McCormack to his left, but as the half, he's been caught. England have it back. Oh, lovely take on the turn.
Very close to being another intercept from this Australian team.
Oh, lovely ball over the top in the meantime. I don't think I can handle another one of those, Mel.
Oh, they do need to sort out their subbing pattern. A lot of loose balls going down or unexpected balls being sent back out to the wing. And now they're just getting caught up a little bit. They need to really start initiating these touches and get a roll on through this Australian defence.
Big chance for England then as they race away to the corner. Richard Jones is caught. Oh, and it's going to be a penalty for Australia, Mel. Well, the most promising England attack of the second half, but it's still 11-0 in favour of Australia. I mean, to make it to a final without conceding in the semi would be pretty impressive.
Yeah, they're looking lovely at the moment. Dave Maher once again strolling over. And this is just sending an out ball.
Could drive a
Dave
school
Maher
bus
on
in
the
the hole
outside of his defender.
Could drive a school bus in the space that Dave Maher has out there for Australia as he saunters in. Liam Lawson knows he's beyond him.
Yeah, I heard you say.
And now Australia with some defending to do. A tap from the 6. And here comes Lawton. Lovely ball to the left-hand side by James Stewart even. And then, well, almost for England. They're knocking on the door here, but they still can't break down Australia.
Oh, they are. This was a lovely little ball out. I don't think anyone was really expecting it, but lovely covering defence by Taki Luke over there on the wing.
It would have been a fantastic finish as well. Well, there's been a score over on pitch 1, as you can tell by the music, but here on pitch 2 in this semi-final, Australia are well in control and still looking for more.
Oh,
the hole opens up.
Out. What a pass. This is just class from this men's 35s team. Dumped just inside the 7 and lovely ball. Oh, so hard to defend against. England have tightened it up in this second half though. 13-0, 10 minutes into this half.
Another score for Australia.
Oh, this is better from
Well,
England.
I've got Jonathan Bailey on the sideline here.
Lovely
You're live
switch,
with us
lovely
on
try.
the Next Gen live stream, and it's a pretty impressive performance by Australia. I mean, it's a semi-final, and yet as England score their first try, it won't scathe you much. You're well ahead.
Yeah, the boys are all working really, really hard. Doesn't matter who we play or what the score is, we're always putting 100% for each other, and today's no different, and neither will tomorrow.
Well, the box is staying sharp and focused on this game, but looking ahead to the final, if you'll let yourself, it's going to be a big game against South Africa or New Zealand. You've got to be confident given your record so far.
Yeah, look, if we play the way we've played through most of the tournament and even go up another level tomorrow, I'm sure we'll give ourselves a good chance of victory. But we respect whoever our opponent is tomorrow. New Zealand, South Africa, both great sides, and we'll have to bring our best selves to beat them.
I mean, it's going to be perhaps one of many gold medals that Australia might grab in this World Cup. What's it like to be part of such a successful EMU setup overall?
Oh, it's an absolute honour and a privilege. I mean, there's so many amazing players in Australia across all age divisions, mixed, women's, men's. So to be here is a great honour for myself and all the boys, and I know our families are watching back home and are incredibly proud, and we're doing everything we can to represent them in the best light.
Thanks very much for talking to us, Jonathan. Best of luck for the rest of the game and for the final later on. Well, the voice of Jonathan Bailey there for Australia, fortunately pulled up with an injury at the moment, but England's first try of the game, Mel. And they're looking for a second one here. Oh, it's another interception. You just can't write it. It's going to be a hat-trick as well for Kanui Cox, who's had a fantastic game.
Yeah, lovely interception, lovely place up the field. No one was going to get close to him.
Well, just as they got back into the game, England, with their first try on the board, they go behind.
Yeah, England will be happy with that. It's never nice to get a convincing defeat against your name and have a donut next to your country's name. So they'll be very pleased with that score.
Well, we could be on for an exact repeat of the last result when these two sides faced each other. It was 16-3 on that occasion. England looking for a second score.
Yeah, Colin Scott looking to create something, but nothing doing on that 7-metre line, unfortunately. But I think the improvement that we've seen in the England team has been that they have held it for their set of 6. There's been a lot less errors, especially in their own half, and I think it's starting to build slowly for them, but just not enough to threaten this Australian side. Lovely long ball out to the wing, and another cracking score by the Australian Emus. Great dump, pick up, and whooshka straight out. Lovely take and finish on the wing as well.
Well, it's a second try of the game as well for Brad Powell after his long-range effort earlier on. He's taking some rest back there, as you can see, and well, second try of the game for him. Australia up to 16-1. Some semi-final, Mel. They are looking really bright.
Oh, some very dicey passes. If I'm England in this situation, those 50% passes, very close to being touch passes, I just don't know how smart they are when you're 16-1 down. But they've gotten away with it, England, and they have 6 touches again just outside the Aussie 7-metre line.
Well, the rain may soon be upon us. But what will be upon us even sooner than that is an England exit in this men's 35 division. They are 6 minutes away from the end of this game, and they trail by 16 tries to a singular score. The same amount they conceded when these sides met in the pool stage, and Australia's 100% record in this competition will continue. There's surely another score here, a show and go. It was a 2-on-1. Patrick Horgan scores this time. What more could they possibly offer on this field, this 35 side?
And we expect England to now be in the bronze medal match, which is expected to be against South Africa. And you look at a scoreline like this and you wonder what Australia's goals for this game were with a scoreline like this. And I think they would have loved to have had a clean sheet coming out of this game. But other than that, I think they'll be very happy with the performance that they've put in.
England looking for another score just to take something home after this semi-final exit ahead of their bronze medal match. We've got our first bronze medal match live here on pitch 2. It's the women's 40s competition. That will be live for you as our final game of the day after the men's 30 semi-final between New Zealand and England once more.
Yeah, the women's 40s, a very, very interesting division at this World Cup. The very first year that we've had a women's 40s.
just indicative of the continued expansion of the game.
Absolutely. And
lovely ball over on the left. What a transition by Australia. He thinks there's a foot in the ruck there. So, in fact, he has won the penalty. Scott Bradley wins the penalty that time. And taken forward by Scott Bradley. And Australia through the centre with Josh Phillips. 17-1 in this game. But they're looking to add another on the score as the rain begins to pour here. But it won't put a damper on these Australian hearts. They are far and away the favourites going into that final after defeating New Zealand already. Easiest score of the day for Scott Bradley.
That was insane, this long ball. Kanui Cox, the man again. Oh, that was spectacular. Oh, wow.
Australia have 18 in this semi-final. Australia, Anthony Tipple, happy with the performance as well. As you can see, there's the try scorer, Scott Bradley on your screens. But England looking for something to take with them into that bronze medal game. And they'll take on South Africa. It's yet another New Zealand-Australia final. And this time, he's completely on his own after the intercept. It's Taki Luke.
The three closest chasers are all referees, which is saying something.
Great effort from our match officials, but that will bring up 19 for Australia. They could hit 20 against the hosts now in a semi-final.
Demonstrating their class all over the park, Australia, as we come to the closing minute.
2 minutes to go. Another interception. 3 for Australia in this game. Or perhaps, I think that might be the 4th interception score, actually. And it's testament to how knowledgeable these men are in the game of touch.
And how confident they are in terms of the rest of their defensive line to get up very high, put themselves in position for these intercepts. And they have been picking them off from England all game long.
Well, it's the men's 30s for England here in action. Up next, Mel. Do you reckon they'll fare a little better against New Zealand? That's men's 30 semi-final.
Yeah, I think that this game's going to be very interesting. The men's 30s have been very, very solid. A very, very fast division, I have to say. It's like watching a men's open, watching the 30s run around.
Well, here come England. What can they create in the closing stages of this semi-final? Australia throughout dominant, a second half in which they racked up even more. They went in 6-0 at the break. They've racked up 12 tries in 10 minutes now in this second half. That's pretty remarkable.
As we come down to the last 30 seconds of this game.
England still driving towards the line. Carl Coburn looking to create. Nice footwork.
Yeah, nice intensity there late in the game. Trying to create something. They'd love to get another score to close out this semi-final, England, but oh, so close. Through the middle of the field. Just dropping that ball. And Australia will play the closing few seconds of this game with a convincing 19-1 win in this semi-final of the men's 35s.
A terrifying performance by Australia. They have dominated England by 19 tries to 1. They are through to the final of the men's 35s competition. Well, as you hear on the tannoy, Australia have also won the men's 55 competition. Will they add another trophy to the cabinet in the men's 35s when they take on New Zealand or South Africa tomorrow in the final? Mel, a dominant performance.
I can't think of more superlatives to use to describe that Australian performance. They dominated across the field. their class and their consistency across all of their players was amazing. The number 7, Kanui Cox, let's give him a massive shout out. Absolutely dominant on the field today, along with Dave Marr, the number 5.
England with another chance to make it to a final in our next game when they take on New Zealand in the men's 30s. That's up next.
Introductions away, please. Can we also confirm the presentations we have on the other side of the picture, picture 1, next to picture 2, the presentations will go on there very shortly, straight after the game. New Zealand are requested in the new pavilion to get the next game, get the next game. Introductions on the way, we are on the pond.